All right guys, how's it going, Eastbayanglers? We're out here. Boy, it is fall. It's crazy. The fishing was really insane this year, and California, you know, we got to get on track. We got to get some water, and we got to stop complaining out here and start trying to do more good things. But okay, so today, guys, we're gonna go ahead. We're going to do something different. We're going to talk to you about stick baits today. We want to talk about fishing stick baits, and we want to talk about, you know, specifically stick bait fishing, different ways to fish a stick bait and modify a stick bait. We want to talk about, you know, fishing it as well as modifications to that stick bait. So let's talk about the first way. First way you can fish a stick bait, which is essentially a particular profile worm. If you look up stick bait online, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. A Senko is a stick bait. And generally, you know, this is a worm profile and natural colors excel. People generally tend to say, oh, I like to use bright colors because I can see them when I'm sight fishing. That's great. That's great that you can see them and all that. It's not going to catch you more fish. So some people say, oh, you know, I think it stands out better. How would you know? You know, the fish have a different color spectrum than the human eye, so they see different shades than we do with the same exact color. So no, that doesn't really work. Now, so we're talking about stick baits today, and the first way you can fish a stick bait is you can wacky rig it. Okay, you can nose hook it and thread it, or you can nose hook it on a drop shot. You can Carolina rig it. Okay, so that's 4 ways right there. Now you can Neko rig it. Neko rigging, it's really cool. N-E-K-O, look it up. It's really cool. You got to weight, Now, a lot of people, they like to spend money. What you can do is take nails or take some type of metal that's in your garage, and you're just going to stick it in the fatter side of your stick bait. When you wacky rig it, what it's going to do is it's going to, well, when you have it and you cast it out, you're basically going to have that weight on the bottom hold that larger, fatter end of the stick bait on the bottom, while the thinner part of the tail is sticking up. And since your hook is wacky rigged in the middle, right around the middle, you're going to have the ability to kind of shake that Neko rig. It's very effective, you know. Shake it, dead stick. Shake it, dead stick. Drag, dead stick. Shake it, dead stick. Some people also like to flip the Neko rig, and they'll go ahead and use those weedless hooks. So that's 5 different ways to fish a stick bait. We did that pretty quick. All right, 5 ways to fish it. Now, or rig it. The ways that you're going to really want to fish it are you're going to want to do a lot of dead sticking, a lot of dragging. You're going to want to shake it. Okay, you're going to want to flip it into cover. Those are going to be the most effective. And so now we're going to talk about modifications. Some of you guys have probably been waiting for this. Okay, let's talk about modifications to worms and stick baits, but stick baits are basically their worms anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're talking about tinsel. You guys know you get it 98 cents at Walmart, right? You want to take a small amount of tinsel and you want to thread that. Now, the way I like to do it is I get a needle and I will tie some strands of the tinsel to the back of the needle. I will thread the needle in through a certain particular area of the worm. Sometimes I just like to go from the fatter end straight down the center and then kind of come out the side, and then I go back in through out on the other end. And it doesn't really matter if it's perfect. What you're going to do is you're going to cut this tinsel anyway, and essentially There's not going to be, it's the same exact worm. There's really no weight added. But what it's going to do is it's going to add a tremendous amount of flash. And a lot of times, this is a secret. I don't tell people this, but this is going to catch you more fish. Get a 5/6 inch Senko. Do this. Get some tinsel. Get that needle. Tie that tinsel to that. And I promise you, you will be shocked. Go with silver and gold because it's simple and it works. Gold on overcast days, rainy days, silver on sunny days. Now that's a rule. It's a staple rule, but it doesn't mean that if you go out there and you can't get bit when you're fishing, say, silver on a sunny day, that you shouldn't try gold. Especially if the water clarity is stained or poor or really dirty. So stick baits are really, really awesome. Another modification we do to the stick bait over here is we like to take a more or less a screw lock. I buy them in 100 packs for $2 from China, and get these screw locks. I take a split ring and I take a willow leaf blade that I also buy those in 100 by the split rings and 1,000 packs from China, and I go ahead and thread that into the worm. Now I really like going into the fat end of the worm and doing it, wacky rigging it and throwing it out. That to me seems to be the best way. It just makes that spoon kind of flutter, and it works better in the spring and the fall, even in the winter actually, more so than the summer, unless the water clarity's churned up from a bunch of boats. That really helps those fish find it. But more so, what a lot of people don't talk about is, you can play around with Indiana, Colorado willow leaf blades, and that's really going to give you an edge. Sometimes that Colorado or Indiana is going to give you a little thump. It's going to make that easier to find, that bait, especially in dirty water, especially when there's lots of wind or chop. So let's say you've got mud banks because it's summertime, people are just churning up that mud, that dirt. But stick baits, guys, worms, these things are phenomenal. We're going to talk about another modification to a stick bait that's going to blow your mind. So one of the other things we like to do to our stick baits is we buy or we take small rattles that we've taken off jigs or other things, and we insert those into the actual stick bait. Rattles do tend to work really well. Now sometimes when I don't want the rattle for different reasons, I don't like the way this rattle just doesn't fit in this particular stick bait well, or worm, I go with a bell. This is another secret I shouldn't even give you guys. You get the old bells, you get the small ones at the craft shop, the ones that they use for little Christmas decorations and things like that. You're going to go ahead and you're gonna thread that on an EWG or any kind of a hook, really, just a single hook. I don't know why, just why I said EWG, but you're just gonna put that, it's got a little clip on it, like that you can put over that barb, and then you're gonna just wacky rig your stick bait. Oh my gosh, that bell is going to give you guys such an edge. If you have bad water clarity, if you've got stained water clarity, oh my gosh, you guys don't even know. So you've got gold bells, silver bells. Sometimes it really doesn't matter which color you're going with, and a lot of times they don't really key in on that bell as much as they key in on that stick bait, and there's a very unique sound. It's kind of there's nothing like it. So you guys heard it first from me on a lot of this stuff, and somebody else will probably take it and put it on a big channel and get a lot of credit for it, but I'm trying to give you guys the scoop. Let's talk about another way to modify those stick baits and those worms you guys have, and take your dyes and dye up them baits. You know, go ahead and get some markers and play around. It's going to catch you more fish. Don't forget to bring your attractants. Sorry about that. So for the most part, guys, these are, you know, some of my true secrets and modifications to a stick bait when I'm bass fishing. And I'm telling you guys, you're going to catch more fish. And that's what this is all about.